Hello everyone! I told you she was gonna be in my vlog. I told you. I was invited to come and moderate Sasha and Lindsay's Colorado stop for their Nexus book tour, and I'm so excited. I am currently 3/4 of the way through Zenith on audiobook, and it is really good, and I'm so excited to meet them. Not only because of the book, but also because we've been following each other on social media forever, and we've never met in person, so this is gonna be really exciting. Also, I'm vlogging! No, I was gonna say also Hannah might be there from A Clockwork Reader too, because she's here in Colorado, so it's gonna be a little booktube friend gathering. Well, I am halfway through Daisy Jones and the Six. I'm gonna put the book over your face, Nanea. I did start it. I lost the footage of the first day I was listening to it. I'm really enjoying it. I had to pause it only because I wanted to read or listen to Zenith before I moderated this panel, so at least I have some background information on the book that they're gonna be talking about. I'm crossing my fingers I don't get spoiled. I was trying to finish it before this event tonight, but I have like 3.5 hours left, so hopefully I won't get spoiled. Okay, we will update once we get there, which should be in approximately 30 minutes if the Lyft app is correct. So I will see you guys shortly. Bye! So it is currently 9 o'clock in the morning. I was meant to update last night, but we ended up coming back from the event really late, and then I ended up just passing out and going to sleep. But the event last night went so well. Like, oh my gosh, I don't know if you guys can tell from the little montage video that we took, but Hannah was there, and Sasha was there, and Lindsay was there, and I met some really cool people. And both Sasha and Lindsay are just as sweet in real life as they are online. Like, seriously, I always get a little bit nervous before I meet people that I'm friends with through social media, because you're never sure how they're going to be in person. They are so sweet, and it was just so much fun. I've never been to the library that the event was at. It was at Bamus Library here in Colorado. The library is so cool. We took awesome pictures, which I will put my Instagram down below if you guys want to see the pictures that we took. It was so nice seeing my friends again. It was so nice seeing Hannah again. This was the first event that I've been to that my sister has actually come to. She's never seen me like moderate or do anything like that before, so I was a little bit like, I still currently have 3 hours left of Zenith, and I'm so excited for this whole series. As you guys know, I'm a sci-fi lover. I've just been really enjoying the audiobook. Because it is the morning, as you guys know, I have been writing every single morning. I'm working on my book, which leads me into the next part of this video, which is my official second writing vlog. Before we get into the writing portion of this vlog, I wanted to say that today's video is so kindly sponsored by Skillshare. My friends over at Skillshare, I've been working with them for several months now. You guys know I love Skillshare. Skillshare is an online learning community for creators with over 25,000 classes in everything from creative fields to business. I love film and writing, which we're going to talk about in a second, and they have amazing classes in everything from photography to videography, writing, graphic design, filmmaking, cameras, like any sort of drawing, just about every sort of creative hobby, creative profession that you can think of. They have professionally taught classes. A subscription to Skillshare is extremely affordable. It's less than $10 a month, and you get access to hundreds, thousands of classes in whatever you're interested in. I've previously talked about Skillshare when I was bullet journaling and getting into bullet journaling. They have amazing bullet journal videos, writing videos. I will leave a link down below in the description box, and the first 500 people to sign up will get 2 months free, so you guys can check it out, see if you like it, watch some videos. Okay, now let's get into writing, because it has been over a full month since I did my first writing vlog video, and it is the most requested video, an update, a part 2 of writing vlog number 2. I'm sorry I've been putting off my writing vlog. I feel like I want to do these videos every time I reach sort of a milestone in my book writing. So I hadn't felt like that in the past few weeks. I've just been really struggling a little bit, but also making some progress, but I hadn't yet hit any sort of milestone where I feel like I learned something that could help you guys, or I felt like I was excited about hitting a certain point. Yesterday morning I had hit about 15,000 words, which should have been like a really exciting milestone for me, which it was, but I made the decision to stop working on my first draft and go back and just completely not redo, but just add a ton of detail to my outline. So for anyone who remembers, I wrote an outline, which I'm not going to turn around and show you guys because it's a secret. It has the title of the book on it. For the entire first month that I've been actually working on my draft, because as you guys know, November, December, and pretty much all through January and some of February as well, I was working on this outline for the book first, because I have a lot of journals just full of writing. I've been working on this story for a long time, as you guys know, but it's just really been all over the place. I have a bunch of different scenes and things like that. So I had decided that I was gonna write an outline and then take all of those scenes and kind of fit it into that outline, and that's what this first draft I'm writing is. But I have found that I've kind of done what I feel like a lot of newbie authors do, and that is I've written myself into a corner multiple times. And what that basically means is you start writing, it's going well, but then you realize you get to a point where the storyline kind of hits like a pitfall because you've either contradicted yourself in some way by making a rule back in like chapter 2, but then breaking that rule in chapter 4 because you forgot you made that rule, or you forgot a certain character said something. I have sort of lost the continuity of the story a few times, and I'm really early into the story, which is why it was stressing me out. But I'm happy this happened early rather than later in the book. Otherwise it would be so hard to write myself out of a corner if I've gotten, say, like 50,000 words in. I went back kind of to the drawing board. I'm like, okay, how do I move forward from here? And I decided that my biggest problem was that my outline lacked detail, and I thought I was going to be kind of a prancer, if that makes any sense. A prancer is someone who kind of roughly outlines their story but kind of leaves a lot open so that they can creatively go and change and add things. Yeah, I am not a prancer. I want to be a prancer, but I just keep writing myself into corners, so I know that that style of writing, like, I can't do it. I've been prancing for many years now, and it's not working. So I know I have to just make a really, really detailed outline to the point where I'm putting the dialogue between characters, if there's important dialogue that happens, in the outline as well. I feel like I had a light bulb moment when I decided to do this. I've been working on it for the past 3 hours now, and literally I just feel so much relief as far as stress goes, because at least for like the first 10 chapters, which I have done so far, I know everything that's gonna happen. I know the conversations that are gonna happen, and I feel like I can be more creative now because I know all the really important stuff that usually stresses me out when I'm writing a scene. Now, like, I understand now why some authors make really detailed outlines. I've already gone back to rewrite the first chapter following my outline, and literally it seems like it's a more stricter way of writing, but really by creating a really strong foundation and having that outline, all the hard stuff of writing a chapter is done. So kind of like the setting and the expressions of the character and all of that kind of stuff, you can creatively go in and just kind of have fun with, as long as it fits the dialogue you've already written. Anyways, that's what I've been doing. I'm trying not to, I told myself I'm gonna pause on writing the draft until I completely finish my outline. I'm about 30% through adding more detail to my outline. It was mainly just dialogue, just character detail that I had to add to it. So I told myself I'm not gonna go back to my first draft until I finish the outline. That way I don't keep like getting stumped and writing myself into these awful corners where I'm like, what do I do now? How do I get back to like what the actual plot is? Okay, I keep like digressing. My goal is to just really take my time with this outline. I'm hoping to be done with my outline, like completely done, have everything solid by June, which is in about like 2 weeks. So that's gonna be my main goal over the next 2 weeks, is just rewriting this outline, getting it solid. Anyways, that is my little writing update. Besides that, the excitement is still here. The sort of, what's it called, the honeymoon phase of being in the novel writing process, which is sort of like those beginning stages. I still have all those honeymoon feelings, but like I said, I'm only like 15,000 words in, so yeah, definitely still in that honeymoon phase. Everything is going well. Please let me know down below if you guys are writing as well. I know a lot of you guys said you're writing books too, so let me know how your progress is going. A lot of you guys asked me to reveal some stuff about the book, but like I'm so in the beginning of it, even though I've been working on this story since like the freshman year of high school and I know it so well. I don't know if I'm going to change certain things yet, so I don't want to say too much. It is young adult, it is fantasy, it is like my whole soul. That is my little writing update. Please let me know anything else you guys would like me to talk about in these writing vlog videos, any questions that you guys have. I feel like this is kind of like a community here now, and I love reading your guys' comments, especially those of you guys who are working on stories of your own. It really motivates me, and I hope these videos motivate you too. Now that I've finished my writing for the day, I am going to finish these audiobooks that I have been listening to. I am so close to being done with Daisy Jones. I don't think I talked about it much yesterday, but Daisy Jones and the Six, okay? I am in love with this book. I was talking to Hannah at the book signing, telling her how much I am just loving the audiobook, and she told me that the band or the group, the Civil Wars, which is a duo, they write really like amazing kind of haunting music. Hannah said that the author based the sort of romance and mysterious split of the band, which is kind of the main plot of the story, this group that was just incredible in the 70s that ended up kind of splitting apart. She said that that was kind of based off of the Civil Wars, the duo that just mysteriously sort of split up, and they had this like strange romantic history, and that the author was inspired by that, and as well as the 70s. Literally, that makes so much sense because the story right now is following this girl named Daisy, who, just like Evelyn Hugo in The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, she's this really sort of morally gray character. She's this girl that comes from a wealthy family. She's an only child, but because her parents, I think they're both artists in the book, because they're so just involved in their own lives and throwing parties and kind of working and traveling, Daisy was always just left alone. You know, she was left alone in this big house, and she lived right across from Sunset Boulevard, I think, or basically wherever all the big bands in the 70s were hanging out. So at a really young age, I think it was like 14 she said she was in the book, she started hanging out, like, you know, with these 70s bands. She was kind of a groupie. She was just gorgeous, and so everyone was kind of knew who she was. She ditched school, she ran away from home, she lived with other people. She has a drug addiction in the book, which is a really prominent part of the story. So she's not a good person by any means, but she does have a past that explains why she is the way she is. Daisy Jones just does not give an F about anything, and that's kind of her whole character in this book, is this really sort of carefree spirit, but behind that carefree spirit is just like this really sort of lonely girl. And she meets this band called The Six, and they have their whole own story. But what I'm loving the most about this entire audiobook is that there's a full cast of characters, so every character has their own voice actor, and it sounds like you're watching one of those sort of documentaries about a band where, you know, it's 20 years later and they're all sitting down telling the story about how they came together, but just minus the visual stuff. You just have to imagine the visual stuff. I'm on chapter 7 of 15, so I have a few more chapters to go. I will update you guys when I get close to the end, and then hopefully I can finish some of Zenith today as well. Okay, huge time jump. It is currently 4 p.m. Okay, so the ending of Daisy Jones was equivalent to the ending of Evelyn Hugo in the sense that it just leaves you with this sadness. My overall thoughts, I absolutely love the book. I'll list my top 3 favorite things about Daisy Jones. Number 1 is the same thing I think that I said with Evelyn Hugo, in the sense that the author just is the master of structuring stories. Like the way she structured the story jumps between a bunch of different perspectives, but it doesn't feel like you're jumping between a bunch of different perspectives. It feels like you're sitting in a room, just like the first book, with a bunch of people, the entire band, the entire Six, and Daisy Jones, and they're all just telling you about their life, and it just feels so real. And you know, it's not just, okay, here's what we did, it's all the little nuances and the little details that you get when, you know, say you have a friend with you who's telling you a story. The structure was just fantastic. Just like the first book, like I couldn't anticipate, well, there was a few things I could anticipate just because we're following a band and this is in the 70s and there's drugs and things like that. So some of the sort of, I don't know, some characters I was able to predict what they were gonna do. Nevertheless, the way the story is told, 80% of the reason why I love this book, the narration. Like the narration took the story from here to here. My second favorite thing about this series would have to be just the characters, just how well developed, I guess you could say, the characters are. Again, this might partially be because of the narrators and because there's a different voice for every person speaking. You know who they are. Like if you think of Daisy Jones, like I can imagine her walking through a door, just like I can imagine Evelyn Hugo walking through a door. Like they're so real and they're so imperfect, but that's just, like, it's real. You know what this story reminded me of? There is a movie on Netflix right now. It's called The Dirt, and it's based off of Motley Crue, which is a really popular band in the 80s. I don't know if anybody listens to their music, but yeah, it reminded me so much of that movie. Like I was drawing parallels because it basically tells the whole story of Motley Crue, but kind of in a really sort of funny, jumping around way. This book takes place in the 70s, not the 80s, but it's that same sort of style of, like, you know, we're following a group of people that are living an insane lifestyle. One that I don't think even now, in today's time, I don't think it'll ever be like that time period was. And the last favorite thing about this book would have to be the ending. Like Taylor Jenkins Reid has just, like, her structure and her endings are always just, they leave you feeling like you witnessed this someone's whole life and now it's over and now you're just left. Overall, I'm gonna give this book a 9 out of 10. I still love Evelyn Hugo way more. Both books were fantastic, Evelyn Hugo and Daisy Jones, but if I had to choose my favorite, I'm gonna have to go with Evelyn Hugo just because it was so unique. Like, not to say Daisy Jones isn't unique. I was drawing a lot of parallels to different movies that I've watched and just anything band related. I was kind of like drawing parallels between Daisy Jones, a 9 out of 10, and Evelyn Hugo, a 10 out of 10. It's really funny, everyone said I would like Daisy Jones more, but no, Evelyn Hugo still reigns supreme for me. Anyways, I think I'm gonna do some more writing, even though I already put in, I think, like 3 hours today. I've been, as far as writing goes, I have been trying not to look at it in terms of like word count, and actually look at it as hours I've spent doing the thing. I find it personally, and mentally, it's better to keep track of the time rather than the word count. Thank you guys so much for watching. I think I'm gonna end this vlog here. Until next time, keep reading and I will talk to you later. Bye!